Hello, this is the Ashley Corinne, and this video I'm going to be talking about myself. I was born in a Mormon family, born and raised, and growing up as a transgendered girl, it's not always easy for someone living in a conservative religion like that, because obviously you're gonna have problems, because I was taught growing up that I grew up learning or being taught that if I lived the way I wanted to live, which was as a girl, that would be a grave sin and I would not get into heaven. And that I would actually go to hell. Now, of course, I struggled with this for a long time. And, I just, growing up was hard for me. I won't pretend like it was some easy, happy, thing. It was hard. Growing up was, for me, it was a painful process. I'm not saying my entire childhood was pain and misery, but there was a lot of pain in my childhood, just because of my situation and the way I am and everything. And ooh, look at this beautiful view. Oh, look at that beautiful power station. So anyways, I grew up in a Mormon family, like I said, and so this caused me a lot of issues, self-acceptance issues, not just with my transgenderism, but in general, just guilt issues, based around sex and, masturbation and stuff like that. Normal stuff. But the Mormonism really challenged me in a couple of ways. First of all was, of course, my gender identity, because for two reasons. First of all, they were telling me that cross-dressing was a sin, so if I ever wanted to dress the way I really wanted to dress or act the way I really want to act, that it would be a sin. Or, I'm not saying I always want to wear dresses and stuff like that. In fact, I prefer men's fashions personally, but even if I wanted to put on a dress, which I like to put on a dress, sometimes. But even if I wanted to do that, then I would have to, it would be a sin. And the second reason this caused a lot of problems was in my search for an understanding of what I was or who I was. Mormonism didn't give me any answers. Looking back on it now, I always knew deep down that I was a witch. When I was a child, I always loved, characters like like Sabrina the Teenage Witch, and that one Hanna-Barbera witch, I don't know, the one that makes all those stupid rhymes, the one from She-Ra. I liked her. There was Bewitched, of course. I loved that girl from Bewitched. She was like my goddess growing up. But I was always attracted to witch characters. And of course, who doesn't want to be able to practice magic like that and, get whatever they want? But as I grew up, I found out that, witchcraft wasn't just in the movies, that it was a real thing. And of course, I didn't understand at the time, how real it was and how it was real, and, what witchcraft really is. But I'm not going to get into that. But when I was a kid, I was always drawn to these occult studies because something inside of me was like, trying to tell me, you're a witch, man. You're a witch. And I didn't understand. Like I said, I didn't understand at the time. But looking back on it now, I can see why I loved those characters so much. And of course, there is a difference between real witches and fucking fake witches. There's a difference between real witches and fake witches. Fake witches are fictional witches which are an exaggerated version of what's real. And all these stories of witches are stories that are based on real witches. It's just that they were exaggerated. Because no matter what society you go to, no matter what culture, no matter what time period, there have always been witches. And witches still exist today. Witches are not mythological creatures. Witches are real. They exist. They're human. They practice magic. And that's all I can say. It's just that in our Puritan society, people usually don't, they either don't think witches are real, or they think that witches are evil, or they're not sure either way. And that seems to be, most people think that way. And ever since the 60s and the 50s with Wicca, and with the kind of, and with Satanism, and with Thelema, and the magical resurgence of that era, of the mid-century, sorry, a bee just flew by my head. And the magical resurgence of the middle of the 20th century, lots of witches have tried to come out and say, you know what, witches are real, and we're not green, and we don't fly around on broomsticks. Although witches do use brooms in their some witches do. No two witches are the same, that's the thing. But brooms are used in magical ceremonies. Or can be used for specific reasons, which I will go into in a later video. But anyways, that's me. I'm Ashley Corinne. I kind of went off on a witch tangent there because that's a big part of who I am. And I'm coming out of the broom closet, so to speak. There are lots of witches around. I mean, just lots of fucking witches.